Welcome back to Vintoro, the place where we bring you the most powerful, beautiful, and legendary machines the automotive world has ever seen. Today, we are diving deep into the story of a Japanese icon, a car that has been nicknamed Godzilla by enthusiasts around the globe. It's a machine that's taken down supercars worth 3 times its price, embarrassed competitors on the racetrack, and still remains a dream for countless gearheads, the Nissan GT-R R35. But hold on, today's video isn't just about specs and performance. There's a secret, one single hidden detail about the GT-R R35 that most people don't know, a detail that might just change the way you look at this car forever. I'm going to reveal it at the very end, so make sure you stay with me until the last second. Before we start, if you love cars, if you live and breathe speed, and if you want to be part of a community that shares the same passion, hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a story like this. Alright, let's get started. The GT-R name has been a legend for decades, but the R35 was something else entirely. When it launched in 2007, it didn't just replace the R34 Skyline GT-R, it rewrote the rulebook. Gone was the Skyline badge. This was now simply the Nissan GT-R, a standalone flagship, designed to take on, and beat, the best in the world. From the moment you lay eyes on it, you know it means business. The aggressive front fascia, the sharp aerodynamic lines, the signature round taillights, and that low, wide stance that just screams speed. But the real magic, it's under the hood. At the heart of every GT-R R35 lies a 3.8-liter twin-turbocharged V6, codenamed VR38DETT. And here's where things get special, each one of these engines isn't made by robots on a production line. No, every single GT-R engine is hand-built by one of just a handful of master craftsmen in Japan, known as Takumi. These are people who've dedicated decades of their lives to perfecting their craft. When they finish building your engine, they sign a small plaque and place it on top. It's not just an engine, it's a work of art. Stock, the GT-R R35 produces 565 horsepower. That's enough to launch you from 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 2.9 seconds. But that's just the factory numbers. Tuner culture has taken the GT-R to insane levels, pushing these engines to produce over 1,000, even 2,000 horsepower. That's why it's been called a supercar killer, because it can, and has, destroyed cars that cost 3, 4, even 5 times as much. Now, power alone doesn't make a car great. The GT-R's real weapon is its technology. Its ATTESAETS all-wheel drive system is one of the most advanced in the world. It can instantly send power between the front and rear wheels for maximum grip in any condition. Paired with a dual-clutch transmission that shifts faster than a blink, the GT-R feels like it's reading your mind. On the track, it's a beast. It's set lap records around the world, from Japan's Fuji Speedway to Germany's Nürburgring Nordschleife. In fact, when it first arrived, it shocked the automotive world by posting a Nürburgring lap time that rivaled the Porsche 911 Turbo, a car that cost far more. But the GT-R R35 isn't just about numbers. There's a raw, mechanical soul to this car. The way it squats down and launches off the line, the guttural growl of the exhaust, the feeling of unstoppable momentum as the turbos spool up, it's an experience that gets under your skin and stays there. Inside, the R35 is a blend of comfort and purpose. The cockpit wraps around the driver, with every control placed exactly where you need it. One of the coolest touches is the multifunction display in the center console, developed with input from Polyphony Digital, the creators of the Gran Turismo video game series. It lets you monitor everything from turbo boost pressure to cornering G-forces, making you feel like a professional racer every time you drive. Over the years, Nissan has continued to refine the R35. Special editions like the Nismo GT-R push the boundaries even further, with upgraded aerodynamics, stiffer suspension, and more power, up to 600 horsepower. Yet, despite all the updates, the GT-R's core philosophy hasn't changed. It's still about delivering mind-bending performance in a package that, compared to its rivals, is almost reasonable in price. The GT-R R35's nickname, Godzilla, was originally given to the R32 back in the 90s by the Australian press, after it dominated their touring car championships. The name stuck, and when the R35 arrived, it proved that Godzilla had only gotten stronger. But remember that secret I told you about at the start? Here it is. Beyond all the power, all the technology, all the racing pedigree, the GT-R R35 carries something almost no other modern supercar does: a direct, unbroken bloodline back to its roots. Despite being loaded with tech, it's still built with the spirit of the original Skyline GT-Rs, a car made not for the elite, but for the driver. Every decision in its design, from the way it's assembled by hand to the fact that it can be driven every day without falling apart, reflects that philosophy. It's not just a car. It's a statement that true performance doesn't have to come with $1 million price tag, and that passion, engineering, and heritage can create something that stands shoulder to shoulder with the best the world has to offer. So next time you see a GT-R R35, remember, you're not just looking at a car. You're looking at the embodiment of decades of racing history, engineering mastery, and the relentless pursuit of speed. And maybe, just maybe, that's why the legend of Godzilla will never die.